Hi, my name is Lynnis Mullins, and welcome to Wellness Woman Wednesday webinar series. Boy, that's a mouthful. And on the Wellness Woman Wednesday webinar series, we have been sharing all kinds of things to help you to be well in your mind, body, and spirit. We've talked about anti-aging. We've talked about removing spiritual blocks, and we've also talked about how to start your day in a positive way. And right now we're going to talk about herbs, teas, and treats for your mind, body, and spirit. There's so many wonderful benefits of herbs and spices, and we're going to cover just a few of those. I mean, I came across maybe a good 50 of them, but I'm not going to share all 50. What I decided to do is to share with you those that I've used, had some personal experience with, and that I also know are good for those of us who are approaching the late 40s, 50s, 60 range. That would be me. I'll be 60 soon. And so I find that these seem to meet some of those little ailments that come as we age, and also help with longevity and slowing down the aging process. So let's get started. First of all, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Lynnis Mullins, and I am the founder of PraiseWorks Health and Wellness and Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond e-magazine. I am a holistic health coach, talk show host of the Wellness Journey Live, editor and publisher of the magazine. I've written books. I also am a speaker, but most importantly, I guess, I'm a mother, grandmother, and wife, and soon to be 59. The things that I share with you on this webinar are things that I have tried myself, and I also have clients who have tried them, and I'm really excited about what I've learned over these last 7 years, and I'm eager to share some more information with you about herbs and teas and treats that will help your mind, body, and spirit to be well. Nature's medicine cabinet. That's what it really is. We have a medicine cabinet in many cases in our backyards or in our actual kitchen cabinet. We have the ability to really heal a lot of the day-to-day things that happen, the day-to-day illnesses and things, and sometimes some things that are more serious, some of the chronic diseases. And we have the ability to use herbs and spices for preventative reasons. Many herbs can be used to heal and to treat all kinds of ailments like stomach disorders, sleeplessness. It can decrease your blood sugar, anxiety, depression, can help with relaxation. It can increase metabolism, aid in detoxification, pain, and promotes longevity. Most of us have herbs and spices in our kitchen cabinet somewhere, and they often get, haphazardly added to recipes or culinary creations. And interestingly, there are many health benefits for herbs and spices, not to mention the fact that they do actually improve the taste of food. The problem is that most herbs and spices have been sitting on grocery store shelves for a long time, and therefore they don't have that same nutritional value or that same medicinal value. I truly recommend you try growing them yourself whenever possible, but if you can't, you can always purchase the high quality organic ones from your local health food store. All the spices originate, of course, from plants, flowers, fruits, seeds, barks, leaves, and roots. And herbs and spices not only help with improving the taste of food, but they can help preserve your food for a longer period of time. And many of them have antibacterial and antiviral properties and are very high in trace minerals and B vitamins. It's amazing that we don't use more of it in the United States, but we have a tendency to stick to the old staples, the salt and the pepper. But I'm going to talk about some benefits, some herbs and teas and things that you can use with or add it to your food that can also enhance the flavor. And of course, herbs come in many forms. They can be in the dried form. It can be used as a tea or seasoning. In the fresh form, which is the best because that's when the medicinal quality is the strongest and the flavor is the strongest. You can add them to soups and salads, for instance. Or you can get them as an essential oil. to be used on the bodies or ingested. And of course, you only want to use organic essential oils. And you can put them inside of a gel. Either the essential oil goes into a gel or the herbs themselves go into a gel form if you want to ingest them. So there are all kinds of ways that you can use the herbs. Now, I do want to stress that when using herbs, please consult a licensed healthcare provider trained in their use. Some herbs are not compatible with medications. I am not an expert. The herbs I'm sharing with you in this presentation have been effective for me and some of my clients, family, and friends. These herbs can impact people in very different ways. Always consult your licensed healthcare provider before using any of these herbs, especially if you are on other medications. So, okay, read that disclaimer. So don't go out and buy a bunch of these yet. You know, if you're on medication, definitely check with your doctor to make sure that's not going to counteract anything. But one thing I will tell you is that I have found herbs to keep me well for the most part. I haven't been on pharmaceuticals on a regular basis at all in my life ever. But now that I'm at a part where, normally, at a point where normally things start happening, I use some of these herbs and those happening things kind of just go away. So here are 10 of the herbs that I think are really great for midlife. Okay, anise. I love anise. You know, it has a licorice taste, and it's very good for calming an upset stomach. It helps with coughs and runny noses. And here's something that's interesting, especially for midlife. Sometimes our libido goes down, because of the estrogen levels. This happens a lot, and it can help with that. It can boost libido because it does have some estrogen-like properties. It's a very good source of fiber and calcium. And you'll hear me say this many times about maybe finding other sources of calcium besides just dairy. Dairy has so many things that aren't good for you, especially as we get older. So looking for those substitutes of calcium is very important because our bones need that, especially as we get older. So anise is one way to get some of that calcium. It's an excellent source of iron, and you can use it in tea, the gel capsule, or you can use it in an essential oil. Any of those ways could be very beneficial. Burdock. I don't know if you've heard of burdock before or not, but I wanted to share it with you because one of the things that's really excellent about it is that you can use it in a juice. It's very good for fighting bacterial infections that you might have. It's good for inflammation, and is an excellent detoxifier. And you can take the burdock root and put it in a gel capsule. It is a root. So I put right here a recipe for burdock juice. That's 3-inch piece of burdock root and a 1/2-inch piece of ginger root and 3 small apples. And you want to get either a collard or a kale or chard leaf, not a lot, just a little bit, and a quarter lemon. With you can use the skin if it's organic, and the reason why we say if it's organic, that if it is not organic, it has pesticides on it, and you just kind of cancel everything out. You put that in there on this juice that's supposed to be detoxifying. So if it's not an organic lemon, don't include the lemon with the skin, just the juice. And you throw it in your juicer, and it has an interesting taste. I wouldn't say that I would drink it with a meal, but it has a very medicinal quality, and it does work as a detoxifier. I can definitely account to that. Another great herb, cilantro. I love cilantro. First of all, it's high in vitamin K, which is something that's sometimes hard to get from our foods, vitamin K. It improves bone strength and helps with blood clotting, which is something that sometimes as we get older we struggle with. I like to use cilantro in my soups and on my salads. If I am eating any kind of meat, which might be chicken or fish, I will grill it and throw some cilantro on there. Sometimes I'll just eat cilantro by itself. But it's wonderful. You find a lot of cilantro in Indian foods and Spanish foods, Mexican food in particular, and it's delicious. It's a great herb to use and very easy to grow. It almost looks like a parsley. You probably have seen it before in the store if you've never bought it before, but it smells really, really good, and I highly recommend it, especially as you age, because it helps with the bone density strength. Now, this is interesting. This cyclone cinnamon, I hope I'm saying that right. I've always said it that way. If I'm saying it wrong, somebody let me know. I love cinnamon of any kind, and I use it every morning. And I'll share with you before we're through with this what I use my cinnamon for. But it does lower blood sugar levels. It also lowers cholesterol, and it's a really good source of fiber. Helps to satisfy cravings. I can attest to that. I use it all the time. That's one of the reasons why I use it every day, is because I get these cravings all the time. PMS symptoms is very good at. Can be very helpful with Candida yeast infections. And let me say a little bit about that. Sometimes as we age, our Candida goes up and down, and you might experience premenopausal some yeast infections, increasing infections, or perhaps part of your PMSing might involve, unfortunately, yeast infections. Well, cinnamon tea is the organic kind. If you can find the ground loose cinnamon, it would be fantastic for you to drink. If you have any feelings from IBS, irritable bowel syndrome, that's a horrible thing to have, and quite a few women actually suffer from that. It can be helpful with those feelings. Also, it is very good in terms of magnesium, which we need to have. That's important for bone health again. Many times we're not able to get that particular mineral from our foods because they may not have been grown organically, or the soil they were grown in might be depleted in some source that could help maximize the magnesium that are supposed to be in our fruits and vegetables. Well, this kind of cinnamon is one way to make sure you get the magnesium. Also, it helps with improved cognitive function. And like I said, I sprinkle it on the food and on the teas. And some people use it as an essential oil that you can add to foods. Now, here's a secret that I will share with you. I drink coffee in the morning. I absolutely do. I finally weaned my way from sugar, no creamer. I drink it black. But I do add cinnamon and coconut oil. Coconut oil is a fat burner, so this is my fat burning coffee. And of course, cinnamon has all these wonderful things about it. So that way I feel a little bit less guilty about drinking coffee. And actually, coffee is not bad for you. It's only bad for you when it comes to what you put in the coffee. So if you put healthy things in the coffee, sometimes coffee can be pretty good for you. It is a fat burner. It can stave off cravings, coffee can, and they have found some direct correlation between the propensity to have cancer and the amount of coffee that you drink. A study just came out this year about that. So it's not always a bad thing to drink coffee. Just be careful what you put in it. Okay, cumin. I love cumin. I'm just not crazy about the smell. But look at these health benefits. It can help you with your blood sugar levels for type 2 diabetes. It prevents stomach ulcers, which, is fabulous because as we get older, those are some of the things that sometimes we might suffer from. It's a good source of calcium, iron, and magnesium. It helps to settle the stomach. One study has shown that it can help with memory loss, which is interesting. And you never know. These herbs work differently for different people. So sometimes something like that might help the memory loss. Sometimes it may not. You won't know until you try it. It also can reduce the impact of stress on the body, and most people use it for soups and rice, and it's also included in Spanish and Indian dishes as well. It's interesting. When it's ground up, it's kind of a yellowish color. It has a very powerful smell, but it does taste wonderful in dishes, and the benefits, as you can see, the health benefits are excellent. Here's another one I use all the time without fail, ginger. In fact, I use ginger in my water. I have this concoction of ginger water, lemon, and apple cider in the water I drink daily. And I drink anywhere from 50 to 64 ounces of water a day. And that's to clean out my liver, to keep myself hydrated, to stave off cravings. And also, ginger is very good as an anti-inflammatory and an antioxidant. It can help with osteoarthritis. Any of these herbs that help with inflammation would be good for someone to try that might have arthritis. Ginger can also help improve heart disease. Oh, got a little error there. H-E-A-R-T. Heart disease risk factors. Preventative help with chronic indigestion. For those people that just have problems, gas, stomach aches and things like that. Significantly reduces menstrual pain. I don't have menstrual pain anymore. One of the good things about being postmenopausal or perimenopausal. But when I used to have my menstrual cycle, it was, I would have like one day that was uncomfortable, and I would drink ginger tea, and it would just go away automatically. Can lower cholesterol and can prevent cancer. A study has been shown that there's something called 6-gingerol within the ginger that has been shown to help prevent certain kinds of cancer, and again can help improve brain function, in particular for elderly women, which I thought was very interesting. Ginseng. I know you've heard about ginseng before. It definitely is known to increase energy, but did you know that it can also combat depression and can reduce your stress and improve mental health? It helps to shorten how long a cold might linger because it boosts your immunity. It also slows correctile cancer cell growth and again decreases the blood sugar levels. Have you noticed how a lot of these teas work with the blood sugar levels, especially if you're type 2 diabetic? If you're a type 2 diabetic, you really can reverse that. And so much of it has to do with lifestyle. And I know of one person in particular who's a type 2 diabetic and didn't reverse the lifestyle, and unfortunately is taking medication that made her gain a whole lot of weight. She has problems seeing and walking, and it's so sad because this is something that could have been prevented. So let's use our wisdom. And if you are a type 2 or borderline type 2 diabetic, I highly recommend that you ask your doctor to see if he's an integrative practice, to see if he has someone that practices with him that practices holistic health. Take a look at herbs and things that can help you get those blood sugar levels under control. Holy basil. I love holy basil. It's a wonderful herb, and the reason why I know so much about it is that many years ago, well, not that long ago, about 5 years ago, I suffered from an anxiety disorder, and holy basil essential oil was one of the things that I used, that I put on the bottom of my feet, because holy basil can help with anxiety disorders. It can decrease panic attacks. It also can alleviate any of the effects that come from stress and anxiety. It does boost the brain function. I always feel more clear when I use holy basil. And it, once again, can regulate blood sugar levels and prevent diabetes. Now, holy basil is different than regular basil. Both of them are good for you. Regular basil is an anti-inflammatory and antiviral properties that can help with osteoporosis. A lot of people use basil for their soups and vegetables and mixed with their sauces and things like that. Both basils are great to have fresh. In fact, all of these herbs, if you can get them fresh and not dried, that's fantastic. But dried, if they were grown organically and dried, they will still have a whole lot of medicinal impact. Rosemary. I love rosemary. I love the way it smells, first of all, but I also love the different medicinal qualities that it has. As you can see that rosemary is great for inflammation, helps to boost the memory, boosts your mood and reduces your stress, strengthens the immune system, helps the stomach to be soothed if you happen to have, again, those, digestive problems. Good with pain relief. It stimulates the blood flow. It helps with bacterial infections. It detoxifies the body. And it can aid in improving the youthful quality of the skin. And this is really interesting because you can get rosemary in an essential oil. And sometimes I will use a little bit of rosemary essential oil and a little bit of lavender oil and a little bit of frankincense oil mixed together, and I use a carrier oil of fractionated coconut oil and put it in a bottle and mix it together. And I use that to put on my face sometimes as a moisturizer or as skin repair to kind of reduce some of the lines on my forehead or some of the more prominent lines underneath my eyes. And it really does make a fantastic difference. And of course, rosemary tastes great in our soups and chickens and on other vegetables that you might eat. A wonderful herb to grow naturally. It grows very easily and it tastes fantastic. Thyme is full of antioxidants. It's one of my favorite herbs. It's a member of the mint family, and it contains a really potent antioxidant, which actually they use for Listerine mouthwash. You can boil water with thyme in it and use it as a homemade spray cleaner, or you can add it to the bath water to treat wounds. It's so full of antioxidants, and it does help with aiding cellular damage. So when you do have that wound, it helps to heal. It helps your cells to regenerate that much more quickly. It aids in sore throat, cough, and bronchitis, can act as a diuretic, and it also boosts your immunity. It's a great way to take tea, get the thyme tea, and to take during any kind of illness to help speed the recovery, because it does boost your immunity. It also boosts your mood, and I think anything that helps your body work better probably does help your mood also, because if you're feeling better in your body, you're going to feel better in your mind and your spirit. It just makes sense. And you can use this as an essential oil. You can use it dried, or you can use it fresh. Now, I do grow thyme in my backyard, and I use it fresh just about every day and whatever I can think of. So I love thyme. It's one of my favorite herbs. Now, I found some teas that I thought would be very interesting to you. And some of these you probably have heard of before, but I wanted you to know that these are wonderful teas that heal and are especially good to drink in midlife. Peppermint tea, because of the bloating and the abdominal gas that we get sometimes, heartburn. Ginger tea, nausea, vomiting, upset stomach. Chamomile tea can be fantastic for insomnia and sleeplessness. And also, I think it's rooibos tea. Lots of antioxidant properties, has vitamin C, and it helps to ward off signs of aging. Lemon balm tea. That is so good. If you're feeling a little bit depressed, it uplifts the spirits, and it's really good for the winter blues. It can also help improve your concentration. And of course, rose hips, you probably have heard of this before, one of the best plant sources for vitamin C. Very medicinal, very good for the immune system and skin and tissue health, and also the adrenal functions. So those are the teas and the herbs that I recommend in midlife. I hope that you've enjoyed the presentation. I certainly have enjoyed giving it to you. Like I said, I always try to keep these like right around 30 minutes. If you want to find out more about wellness for women over 40 and more about me and what I do, follow me on Twitter. I'm at PraiseWorks, or Facebook, PraiseWorks Health and Wellness. Or you can do PraiseWorks Wellness Woman 40. I'm on Instagram at Wellness Woman 40. PraiseWorks Health and Wellness, that's how I look on Pinterest. Or you can find me on YouTube, which has the recordings of my other webinars that are full of information about how you can stay well in your mind, body, and spirit. And you can always go to my website at praiseworks.biz to find out what's going on with PraiseWorks and to connect to all my social media. And also, don't forget about my magazine, Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond, e-magazine. Fantastic issues that we've had. We've done 7 issues so far. The next issue comes out in late April of 2016. I don't know when you're going to be listening to this, because this will be uploaded to YouTube. And you can listen to it like this time next year, but we will continue having the magazine even in 2017. I'm believing in that. I just know I'm going to keep it going because it's such an important magazine. It has fantastic information on things that you need to know, everything from relationship wellness to your weight issues, to chronic disease, to aromatherapy, spiritual wellness, emotional wellness. There's so much information. Over 80 women have written for this magazine so far, and they're all experts in their chosen fields of expertise when it comes to wellness for women. So make sure that you subscribe to the publication. I'm so excited because we're going to be on Maxter pretty soon, which is a new application which will enable you to pull up the magazine very easily on your iPad and on your iPhone or Android. You can go to praiseworks.biz to subscribe to the magazine, or you can just Google Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond e-magazine. Also, the pre-order, Ageless Beauty, Anti-Aging Tips for Women Over 40. That's my new ebook. It'll be out very shortly. I don't know exactly when you're going to actually view this, but just go to my website to get information, or you can email me at info@praiseworks.biz. It could be by the time some of you see this presentation, it'll be up on my website. But this is a really handy little book that I put together that has all kinds of anti-aging tips. They're going to help you with your skin, help you beauty tips for your face, also great foods and recipes that are good for weight loss and good for other kinds of things, and in terms of like arthritis that we sometimes have, the need for focus and memory. There's all kinds of things that, you know, kind of happen to us as we age that I address in this book, from some homemade masks, homemade cleansers, homemade scrubs. I mean, it's some good stuff in here, and I really tried to give you some really short, concise information that will help you to continue to be the beautiful woman that God created you to be. Thanks so much for listening. I hope you've enjoyed the webinar, and we'll have one more that I'm going to be doing, and that webinar is going to be on 7 steps to your spiritual and financial abundance. This is Lynnis from PraiseWorks Health and Wellness, and also Wellness Woman 40 and Beyond e-magazine. I hope you have enjoyed this presentation, and we'll see you again next time.